Hey, what's going on, guys? Tubasa back with another set of videos for this week. And this week, we're going to start off with an entry. But first, I have some drawings to show you. So, this first one is a character that I just made called Dennis McEvil. He kind of looks like Jeff Bezos. Kinda, in my opinion. I've been starting to make my illustrations a little bit larger so they'd be a little bit easier to see, and you can see him cackling down there and going, minimum wage? Nah. How about for free? So, he's supposed to be a big corpo guy. I was told that kind of looks like a Cruelty Squad NPC, which, that's pretty cool. I watched the Pyro video on Cruelty Squad. I don't have a PC, so I haven't played it yet. And this other illustration that I made is when I was slowly going off the rails during the middle of my week. So I have some more unhinged drawings. More so the people look unhinged, not necessarily the drawings themselves. It just kind of looks a little weird, a little off-putting. The guy right here was inspired by an album that a student of mine recommended me called Nail by Scraping the Fetus Off the Wheel or something like that. It's a very industrial album. It is also 80s sounding. There's a lot of catchy tunes in the album itself, but a lot of the stuff that it talks about is not so good in my opinion. But nonetheless, it's catchy. So if you haven't been finding any cool music lately, I would, I guess, recommend listening to Nail once and then determining whether or not you want to listen to it again. But with that out of the way, let's move on to our next entry now, which is on the fourth month of the year, which is April, and it being the 23rd day of 2025. My mind is a whirlwind of anxiety and unfocus. This past week, I've felt nothing but the weight of everything pressing down on me. I'm hanging on for dear life, just trying to close out these last few weeks before graduation. My neck feels like a hard pumping pressure from my heart trying to beat the blood into my brain. I feel this almost every waking hour. It feels claustrophobic, as if someone is wrapping their hand around my neck and squeezing lightly as if to threaten me. Whenever I'm in class, my mind drifts and my eyes begin to go out of focus. My mind thinks about self-destruction, women, and the upcoming quizzes and presentations I have. All these things cycle in my head like a washing machine, with each subject never being able to rest in my head. I don't know what this silent visage of self-sabotage wants from me, but it's not welcome. It's making me jittery and restless. What's intriguing about this feeling is that it's not the first time that it's happened. When I was about to graduate in high school, the same presence of some doomsday came crashing through my door. I don't have any remedies for this pain, or more so, paranoia. The only thing I can do is stick it out. Why do I tear myself apart when I see that there is an end? Peace. As the week's gone on, I've taken one quiz, and so the anxiety's kind of like lessened a little bit. Now, I wasn't too happy about the grade I got. I got a 80, which for most people is fine, but for me, I am usually a 4.0 student, so getting a B minus is not typical of me, and I tend to beat myself up over it. But at the same time, the mindset I have is like, just graduate. Like, you get a B plus, like, that's okay, whatever, just graduate. And this presentation that I have is slowly creeping up on me, and I'm worried about it because it's kind of like an interview, as my professor puts it, where he's going to give each student 30 minutes and they talk about, like what they learned about in the class. And so there's some learning objectives that he has. Like, if you can answer these, you should be fine. So I've been slowly going through those and trying to answer them. Some subjects or some questions I run into and I'm like, I usually just know these by equations, or reference the book, the Steel Manual, if you will. Let me get that out for you so you guys have an idea of what I'm working with here. So in America, we have strict construction guidelines. And for steel, we have this giant book called the Steel Manual, Steel Construction Manual, American Institute of Steel Construction, 16th edition. And we also like to call it the Steel Bible because it is about as thick as a Bible. This sucker also needs to be re-annotated because all of this is from Steel 1 and I'm currently in Steel 2. So all these tabs really mean nothing in my head. I usually nowadays just know where to go in the specs for the most part to find it or to find what I'm looking for. But yeah, he would like us to do an interview and crash course about what we learned in regards to what the book says. And personally, I'm not ready for it. At least I feel like I'm not ready for it. But again, if I'm just trying to graduate, I shouldn't have to worry so much about it because as long as I have put effort in the presentation, have tried to answer the questions, I should be fine. So we'll see how that goes. Another thing is that on another presentation that I have, I've barely done anything for it, but at the same time, it feels like there isn't a lot asked of me. And so whether or not I've really done my part or not, I have no clue. And then when we go and present it, like I already know what I'm going to talk about. So I don't think it's going to be too bad. That's the one I have a B+ in. And if I get a 100% on this presentation, which it's a group presentation as well, so not worried about it that much. I mean, I should maybe get up to an A-. We'll see. Finally, the last presentation I have is my capstone project. That's a big one, and so far I feel like I have not worked on it as much as my other group members have because I've been so worried about the steel stuff that I have not paid any attention. And on top of that, I also have another quiz or one final in another class coming up on Monday, but although I have studied for it, for me, it wouldn't make sense to excuse myself from that capstone project because my team members also have that quiz coming up, or at least a couple of them do. But yeah, you can tell how it's been quite a stressful week, and how, for me at least, when I'm coming to an end of a chapter in my life, I get very paranoid because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I actually going to make it? Is something terrible going to happen? And subconsciously, my mind likes to think of the worst thing possible that could happen. Like, oh, if you're driving, you got to be freaking paying attention at all times. And then I just start to space out sometimes as if my brain's like, it's whatever. But it's not because, graduation is pretty cool and pretty important, and staying alive is what we're looking for here. So, yeah, it's a very stressful week. Luckily, I still have time to make these videos and play video games. If you don't know, I do stream on Twitch. I stream Apex Legends, and that's really about all I stream. I might stream Celeste every once in a while. I love Celeste. But for the most part, it is Apex Legends because I have a goal in mind. I'm not going to tell that goal yet because I don't want my competition to catch wind of it and then try and get ahead of me because I like giving myself the best advantage possible. Now, is this a goal that they would be able to chase in the first place? It depends. Do they have 2 years of spare time ahead of them? I don't know, but we'll see. So, yeah, a lot going on in these last couple of weeks winding down to graduation. I still don't have a cap and gown ordered. There's some dates that you can go in and actually try them on, I believe, and so I'm going to go to that. If not, I might be kind of screwed. But we don't worry about that until we get to the day where we can hopefully try things on, right? So, again, very stressful last couple of weeks. I'm very anxious and worried about it. I have no clue what's going to be happening besides, once I graduate, I'm going to go take a vacation before I start work. And I will videotape so much and take pictures of where I go. That way you guys can come along for the ride and I can get out of this box that I've been in, that I've been making videos in for the past couple of weeks now. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be an entry. And interestingly enough, it'll be about success. So stay tuned to that. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Peace.